Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today this is a full visual of the E1. Running from Oxford Osney Island to Eynsham Acre End Street for connections onto the S1 service through to Witney. So this service was introduced when Botley Road was closed for the rail bridge improvement works, to continue providing a service through Botley and Farmoor, is it called? The two villages between Oxford and Eynsham, which used to be served by the S1. This is the first bus stop. So yeah, the E1 runs up to every 20 minutes, Monday to Saturday daytime, Sundays every 30 minutes, and there are two trips, early morning Witney inbound and two in the afternoon which go Oxford out to Witney. All other services though, as it says on the blind, is Eynsham for connecting services to Witney. So you get off at Acre End Street and then wait. So I think they've timed it so an S1 is shortly behind it, and all you do is you get off Eynsham and get on the S1 to continue through to Witney, or in the other direction, if you're coming from Witney, you change on to this in Eynsham at Acre End Street. This vehicle here is an ADL Enviro 400 MMC, and it's in the Stagecoach Beachball colours with the newer interior. There is a DMI board inside for next stop announcements, but they haven't been set up for this journey, and the vehicle itself is SN69ZFC, which is a 2019 plated ADL Enviro 400. And it's probably one of the best batches of E400 MMC, as well as SN18. So this is La Marche Road. And this stop is Seacourt Park and Ride. It's the next one that's the industrial estate. Of course, Service 400 by Oxford Bus Company would now turn right, go into the Park and Ride before coming back out. This is being filmed on the 12:30 departure off Osney Island, and I think journey time is about 28 minutes, something like that. I will also be filming a return journey full route visual from Eynsham back into Oxford, and that will be tomorrow's video, just so you can see the route in both directions, although I don't think there's much difference. I don't think there's much difference, so I'll decide at the end if I'm still going to film that difference. This is Minns Industrial Estate. And there's another E1 going the other way. That's from the same batch as this one, so that's the same sort of bus we're in. But that one is ZFH, where this is ZFC. That's the only difference. And yeah, at the moment we are following an identical path as the S9, which of course runs between Oxford and Wantage. Formerly began from Gloucester Green bus station, got cut back to Osney Island of course, and also Oxford Bus Company Service 4A comes this way, which is on the other side of the road. But yeah, we are following that S9 at the moment, which we will leave eventually. It will carry on straight up here and we'll turn right. That's the only difference. So this is Elm Parade Shops. This driver and service is operated out of the Witney depot of Stagecoach Oxfordshire, well, Stagecoach West, but the Oxfordshire variant, and normally uses these Enviro 400 MMCs, but sometimes it does use the OU13 Optare Solo SRs, but of course one of those, 47834, is being transferred down to Cheltenham Depot for the new service network that would have already begun, which begins next weekend when you're watching this video, literally a week today from this video coming out. So yeah, the S9 service would have carried on straight at that junction there, at where we turned right. And of course, all of these stops were previously served by the E1 instead of what is now the S1. Previously the S1, which is now the E1. Got it the wrong way around. Of course, the S1 used to come this way into Witney via Eynsham this way, but now it goes the same way as the S2 and S3, going up via Summertown, and then straight down the A40 into Eynsham, back out of Eynsham onto the A40 for Witney, whereas it used to just go this way. But yeah, Witney Depot is of course the smallest depot in Stagecoach Oxfordshire, part of West. It only has a few Enviro 400 MMCs, 2 Solo SRs, but that will be dropping down to 1 shortly, and a few buses for storage, because the only routes they operate is the S1, NS1, S7, NS7, the E1, the 233 and 234, and the S2. They are the only ones operated by the Witney Depot. Everything else is done by Horsepath Road. For example, the S3, the S5, the S9, etc, etc. So Witney Depot is one of the smallest depots, if not the smallest depot. So yeah, how this works is it's like a shuttle bus when roads are closed, sort of thing. So it will get there a few minutes before the S1 to Witney, and then going the other way. It's in Eynsham. It has an 8-minute layover in Eynsham, where an S1 will pass through, stop at Acre End Street, and then that one is due there like 3 minutes later, I think it is. So that's sort of how it's been timetabled. Going towards Witney, the S1 will arrive 5 minutes before the E1 arrives, and then going the other way, it will be like a 3 minutes. So the E1 will stay on the near side, so the Witney bound side, just to allow the S1 to pass through first. The S1 passes through, you get off the S1 there and board the E1 if you want those villages, and it's vice versa from Oxford. So I believe driver changeovers for this route happen in Eynsham, which does sound odd, but because it's done by Witney Depot, I presume the next driver gets the S1 in to Eynsham and obviously gets off in Eynsham and takes over this route in Eynsham into Oxford, and then the driver that comes in from Oxford to Eynsham will simply wait at the bus stop for an S1 towards Witney so they can go to the depot. I think that's how it would work. I don't presume that changeovers would happen in Oxford, but they might do, I'm not sure. I would say I guess we'll find out when we get there, but it's not necessarily going to be a driver changeover, because you probably do 2 round trips of this before you come off. You might even do 3 round trips. Oh, this is what the other village was called. It's called Farmoor. Yeah, so a bit of 4-way control traffic lights here. Yeah, doing a bit of work. And it looks like we're going to be passing another E1, because I believe there's 3 vehicles in the loop a day. That's the PVR of this route, 3. And yeah, we're passing another SN69. This is ZFL. The next time we cross over with that vehicle will be there again. So we'll pass over with ZFH here, and then ZFL that we've just passed down in Botley. Sandford Bridge, this one. This is a very nice route. I do like this one. Just gone over a bit of water there. And that is a former toll bridge, so it still has the old toll box in the middle, which I find very cool. Passing the Talbot PH. And we're now entering Eynsham, where the service terminates. Not literally here. Yeah, it passes the Eynsham signs and then terminates. A former 30 zone this, now a 20. The curb. This is Eynsham Church, which is fit with next service arrival screens. And yeah, we're bang on time. But yeah, it has next arrival screen here, so you could get off here and wait for the S1. But of course, you can also get off at the terminus, as the E1 would have also entered Eynsham the same way we just did, where the sign, the third exit, where it said Cheltenham to the right, and Witney, I think it said, if we were to come in via that way, if we did an S1. I keep getting my prefixes confused. As you can see, a very nice area by the look of it. Never been to Eynsham on foot. Very narrow roads, but a very nice area. Looks very nice. They have a cooperative food. These roads are bloody narrow. Our bus is as tall as these buildings. I find that quite fun. So I don't actually know where the terminus is. It's here, this is the terminus, Acre End Street. So, and there's the S1 to Oxford. So, yeah, we get in about the same time. Thank you for watching this video, goodbye.